Hello, people. Welcome back to another video by your good friend Chad Marco. So I decided to do another video game OST tier list or character theme tier list. This time for my personal favorite Street Fighter game, Street Fighter Third Strike. I did Street Fighter 6 last time. So I said, no, maybe I'll do this more often, do like a character theme tier list. And I'll try to have like some of the music playing in the background, but um, definitely Street Fighter Third Strike, one of the more divisive Street Fighter games. When it came out, it wasn't very popular, and then over the years, especially due to the fighting game community, people began to realize just how awesome this game is. And I think one of the best aspects of it is really just its overall presentation, which is part of the reason why it's kind of divisive because, as far as like musically, sonically, they went with more urban sounds and genres like hip hop and jazz, things like EDM and stuff like that. The sound is definitely different compared to other Street Fighter games and its presentation. But I think at this point it's well understood. Love or hate Street Fighter 3 soundtrack. I mean, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. The soundtrack is phenomenal. Um, and so I'm gonna do a tier list for Street Fighter Third Strike character themes. So first we got to get this out the way. Let's go ahead and do it. Jazzy NYC. Oh, and by the way, I'm doing this tier list based on the arranged soundtrack. There's the original, but then there's the arranged. And the arranged soundtrack, in my opinion, is better. Like the songs sound the same, but they have like differences and they have like better clarity and stuff. So this is based on the arranged soundtrack. But yeah, you gotta get this out the way. Jazzy NYC, my top favorite Street Fighter theme, stage theme, character theme of all time ever. I mean, this theme has gotten so many different remixes. They remixed it for Tatsunoko versus Capcom. They remixed it, I think, for Street Fighter 5. Like any game that has Alex in it, they're gonna remix Jazzy NYC. You don't make a new Alex theme. You just remix Jazzy NYC. And the first 15 seconds of it come in, it hits so hard. It comes in so good, and it perfectly sets the tone for battle, for a fight. I mean, it comes in so good, and of course the rest of it is good. Like, but I really love how strong it is right when it comes in, and I think that's perfect for it's perfect for a fighting game, just to get the players into it and just an overall cool vibe. But Jazzy NYC, man, not just the best character theme in the soundtrack, I would say is the best character theme in Street Fighter history. So next we have Elena's theme, Beats in My Head. So I would put this one in the dope category. Now the most competitive part of this tier list is going to be in the dope era. Like this is where you're going to want to watch because like so many tracks here are bangers. Now I know this might be a controversial pick because some people find Beats in My Head to be kind of annoying. It's like beats and beats and beats and I think even for myself, I don't think the song has aged as well. I liked it more before than I do now, but I would still consider it to be overall a dope track. It's very unique. One thing about Street Fighter character themes is it's very rare that they have really any vocals in them. And even though the vocals in this are just repeated beats and beats and beats in my head, to me, I think it's one of the more unique character themes, and I think it more than anything it fits Elena so well. Her being her being a fighter that relies so much on rhythm and dance. It's perfect for her. So next we have Sean and Oro's theme, the Longshoreman. And some of the characters in this game, they share themes. I don't know why they did that, but just a thing. So they have Alex and Ken have the same theme. Sean and Oro, Yoon and Yang, and Necro and 12. They have the same themes. But yeah, definitely got to put Longshoreman in the dope category. I love the way it comes in. It's got like almost like a mellowish vibe to it, but not too much. Like it's still very much appropriate for a fighting game and for a character like Sean. It kind of, if you ever heard the Second Impact soundtrack and Sean's theme in that, it kind of reminds me of that, where it's upbeat and it fits like his youthful energy, but it's also kind of chill too, right? They kind of, and maybe that's because he's a black character, and so they wanted to kind of like just make that, give his themes a bit of a chill vibe, with that also being kind of upbeat. But I do think it's one of the better songs in the OST. It's gonna be hard to beat. Longshoreman. So next we have Dudley. Now this is where it gets tough. This is gonna be tough. Now Dudley's theme is definitely in the dope category. It's definitely in the dope category. Like it's very simple. It's very simple. It's a very simple beat, but it does fit his character somehow. You would think he would have like a more refined, I don't know, like some orchestra or something, but it really does fit him. Somehow it perfectly fits him and his character, because his older themes from, I think, New Generation and Second Impact, completely different. That's the funny thing about it. Like his theme in this game is so different from his first themes in New Generation and Second Impact, but it still really it fits him very well. And I gotta say, I will put him. Oh, it's hard. It's a hard pick. If I had to pick, I would put it like right here. I still got to give it to Longshoreman. So next we have Ibuki's theme. Now Ibuki, I think it's dope, of course, but it's kind of different too, because it's one of the most mellow, chill, laid back themes in the whole game. It has, to me, a very like solid hip hop bass in terms of is the drum, the drum arrangement of it, but at the same time it doesn't really come across as a hip hop song either, because of the melody. But it's kind of unusual because of how mellow and laid back it is compared to the other themes. It's not as laid back as Longshoreman. I would say it's the most laid back out of all the themes, but it's still very good and fits her. I would put it above Elena, but between Dudley. But her older themes were much like Dudley, like different, but I think not as drastically different as Dudley's were. So let's look at Makoto. Now Makoto definitely has one of my favorite themes in the game. I would put Makoto's theme above Ibuki though, but still below Dudley. I like I think her theme is called Spunky, and I like it because it's another thing that perfectly fits the character. It has a youthful energy about it, but at the same time not overly I don't know, what's a theme I can compare it to? Like maybe like some of Sakura's older themes, right? Like when you make a Sakura theme, it's gonna be like kind of upbeat and cheerful, right? And have a youthful energy to it. I think what I like about Spunky or Makoto's theme is that it has that youthful energy while also maintaining a certain level of seriousness, and then the whole stage being placed at like her dojo. The song, I believe, perfectly reflects her diligence when it comes to her training. That's what I always think about. Whenever I hear that theme, I just think of Makoto diligently training to perfect her style of martial arts. So we got Q here. Now, Q's theme is one that grew on me over time. And I think it's because you don't really fight Q very often when you play the game in arcade mode, which is when I played the game, it was mostly on Dreamcast and arcade mode. And you only bump into Q when you do it extremely well. And so I didn't fight him much. So I didn't hear his theme very often until like later. And I was like, oh, this theme is actually pretty dope. I think it comes in pretty solid, but it's the second mix. It's the second mix in his theme and the arranged soundtrack that where it really jumps off. And when I heard it, I was like, yeah, this is definitely one of the best. If it came in a bit stronger, I could probably put it above Makoto, because I'm very particular about like when a song hits its peak. And I think Q's track comes in just overall solid, but that second mix is definitely phenomenal. I put him right here between Makoto and Ibuki. So next we have Yoon and Yang. So definitely some of the more standout tracks, or one of the more standout tracks on the soundtrack. Where would I put this though? Because the Yoon and Yang theme, it comes in very slow, almost unusually like damn, maybe even more mellow than Ibuki's theme, really. And normally I don't like that too much, because I like for, you know, in a fighting game, for a fighting game theme, the song should come in and establish a vibe right from the get-go. And Yoon and Yang's theme is different in that the vibe escalates and changes through the mixes. The first mix is completely chill, almost unusually so. And then the second mix is when it starts to, like, it really gets going. And you think it's over, and then the third mix combines the melody of the first mix with the tempo and energy of the second mix. So it's one of those themes that just gets progressively more intense and better as it goes along. The only thing I would hold against it is that it's just the fact that it comes in the way that it does, right? And it takes time for it to really start to hit. But I would put it above Ibuki and Elena. But damn, oh god, I might even have to put it above Q, to be honest. I like Q's theme, but Yoon and Yang's is just much more iconic. But I think can't put it above Makoto and these guys, because their theme just comes in. I think the way these themes start off is just better, because it comes in already establishing the proper vibe. So next we have Akuma's theme. I think it's called The Killing Moon. So this is one I didn't like at first, but grew on me, much like the Q theme. And it's because of the second mix. Now the first mix is cool. It fits Akuma as a character, but the second mix is really good. It really starts to crank up in that second mix. It's really intense. And I know whenever I fight Akuma in arcade mode and that second mix comes in, like, it really feels like this epic anime battle against this dark demon lord. And yeah, the second mix is what really does it for me when it comes to Akuma's theme. But then where I gotta say though, I still put Ibuki and Q over his though overall. Ibuki is just really good. So next we have Snowland, which is the theme for Necro and 12. So I think this is another strong song. One that kind of like beats in my head for me, hasn't aged as well. Maybe because I played it out. But still one of my favorite tracks in the game. I think it fits Necro so well. I think, you know, overall, I wasn't too upset about certain characters sharing sharing music. But I think Necro in 12 is probably the worst, probably the worst example of it, because I think that Necro is just such a drastically different character from 12. Is such a different character from Necro, and this theme fits Necro so much better because it is kind of a upbeat, fun track. Not overly so, like it definitely has a certain degree of I'm like seriousness, but it just fits Necro much more than 12 is what I would say. But still, overall, where would I rank it against the other themes? Damn, Snowland is good. I would have to put it here. I would have to put Snowland above Q and Ibuki. I think it's definitely one of the stronger themes. It hasn't aged well to my ears, but still one of the strongest themes. So next we have Hugo. So I think this will be our first solid. Our first solid. I'm not a big fan of Hugo's theme, but I will say I think it does fit him well as a character. When you're fighting Hugo in his room, it's a song, because the whole concept of fighting Hugo, you got to think about it. You're stuck in his room and you got to fight this big giant of a man, and just imagine the energy of a situation like that, regardless of who's fighting him. That would just be crazy, and him just running after you and trying to grab you. I love how his theme it is a perfect Hugo song. I wouldn't say it's dope, but I will say that it's solid and it fits Hugo perfectly as a character and how he plays, and the energy that it establishes for when you're fighting him at his stage is right on the mark. It's right on the mark. I just wouldn't say that it's a personal favorite of my own. So next we have Gil. This is one that, because I actually went back and listened to this OST last night before I decided to do this tier list. I wanted just to have, all the things fresh in my mind while I was trying to critique them. And I was thinking that I might put Gil's theme in like meh, right? But I listened to it, I was like, you know what? It's really not a bad theme. I think that I always compared it to his second Impact theme, which is leagues better. His second Impact theme is dope. It's undeniably dope and will be high in the dope category. But his Third Strike theme isn't bad either. I think it's something about it. It's something about it though where it doesn't really stand out when you're fighting him. Maybe it's because when you're fighting him, he's just beating the shit out of you. but it never really stood out to me. So, last night when I listened to it, I was like, you know what? This is a solid ass boss track. Again, I wouldn't say that it's dope, but it's a very solid boss track that does fit Gil in the game. But his second Impact theme, I think it's called The Now. If you've never heard it, that one of the best boss themes. Oh man, like, oh. But this is good too. It's good. I would just say that it's solid. And then we have Urien. And I put Urien. Now this is damn, definitely solid though. Another one that's not really a favorite of mine, but not bad either. It's just about where would I rank him? Because I'm really feeling Gil's track after listening to it again. But Urien's Chili Dog track, damn. Cause I know. That, cause the second mix, in Urien's theme, that's the difference maker for me. I love the second mix. It definitely goes up a level during the second mix for sure. So Chun-Li, I know I'll put her right here. This might be one of the more controversial picks. I know a lot of people like her theme. I think it's called China Vox. I know a lot of people like her theme, but not really a favorite of mine. Again, when I put anything I put into the solid category, it's not like bad. you know, it just doesn't really cross that threshold into becoming like a personal favorite that I listen to. Like I listen to all these right here. Like, in fact, this morning I was listening to Longshoreman and Jazzy NYC. Like I work out and listen to these tracks, you know. These songs are just good for the game, right? But they're not songs that I like download and want to listen to regularly. But they're still solid within the game. Like that's what's so amazing about the soundtrack. Like all these tracks, like these are tracks I have on my music playlist. When you go on the music playlist, that's something special. But I'll put China Vox probably around here in the solid category. Nah, you know, I put her above Gil though. I would put her theme above Gil. That's one thing I will do. So next we have, oh, this is great. Remy in the man. I'm not a fan of Remy's track. I don't think it's bad. But I think that one thing I can say about every character theme in this game is how well it fits the character. And that's something I always look for, right? What is it about the character that inspired the composer to make this kind of song? And I always try to find some kind of connection. Cause like, just for example, cause you can't just make any song and put it on any character. And as an example, imagine if you gave Beats in My Head to Alex, right? Imagine you gave Beats in My Head to Alex, or China Vox to Akuma, or Akuma's theme to Elena. It wouldn't make sense, right? And that's something that I always look for. And I think with Remy's theme, it's the one example where they failed to make a track that really fit the character and the character's theme and their energy and their makeup. And yeah, that's my main gripe with Remy. I don't think it's a bad song. I just think it's one of the few where it doesn't really fit. Kind of like with Necro, but you know, Necro is along for the ride with no, not Necro, but 12. But 12 is along for the ride with Necro, so I can't really push him down, right? Because I don't think Snowland really fits him the way it does Necro. But that's my main problem with what's this track called? I think it's called the Beep or the Bop or something like that. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. And this might be another controversial thing, but I also put Ryu's in the meh category. I do think that it fits him. I will say that. I think that it fits him, but I'm really just not a fan of it. I would say it's better than Remy for the sole purpose that it does sound like a boring Ryu track. It does sound like a boring Ryu track, a standard Ryu track. One thing I will say though, Ryu got some bangers. I'm not a big fan of his Street Fighter 2 theme, but Street Fighter Alpha, Street Fighter EX, and Street Fighter 6. He has some of the best themes in the game. So I'm not even gonna play Ryu like that. But in this game, I'm not a big fan of that. But this is my tier list for the Street Fighter 3 Third Strike Arranged OST. Of course, Jazzy NYC sits atop as the king of kings. The king of kings. What can I say? But I mean, just look at it. Like, there is not one track that I would say is garbage juice. It's just not there. And even in the lower tiers, all these are solid songs. I don't hate any of these. I don't dislike any of these. Either I love the song, like here, or I'm just more so indifferent to it. Or I could at least say that it fits the character well and it does establish a proper vibe for that character when you're fighting them or when you're using them, right? But that's part of the reason why I would say this is such a great soundtrack, because there really are no legitimately bad character themes. I think there are people that they will look at my list and bring like Hugo or Chun-Li or Ryu up Again, I think my most controversial pick might be Beats in My Head, but I fucks with Beats in My Head. So hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I will see you on the next one. So, John in.